Tonight, it's the Blue Jackets and the Ottawa Senators going at it at Nationwide Arena on Community Night, presented by Worthington Industries. I'm Dylan Tyre with you on the Rink Report, presented by Telhio Credit Union. And before we get into more on tonight's game between the Blue Jackets and the Senators, yesterday, the National Hockey League announced some exciting news. The Blue Jackets will be taking part in the 2022 NHL Global Series. They'll travel to Finland in early November to take on the Colorado Avalanche on the 4th and the 5th. An exciting couple of games there in Finland. And Blue Jackets winger Patrik Laine said he's very happy to see the National Hockey League heading to his home country.
Yeah, I mean it's a big opportunity, obviously for us and for all the players, and they're great hockey people over there, so it's exciting for them as well. And I've got to experience that once a couple years ago playing over there, which was awesome for me, but it'll be a great opportunity for all of us.
Now, the Blue Jackets come home to Nationwide Arena after spending the last 3 games on the road in California. They lost to the LA Kings, the Anaheim Ducks, and the San Jose Sharks. And even though that road trip didn't go quite the way the Blue Jackets were hoping for, winger Justin Danforth says the team's very happy to have spent that time together in California.
Yeah, it was a fun trip. Obviously, you want to go in there and get wins, and I thought we played some solid hockey to get wins at some points throughout that trip, but unfortunately just came home without a win. But like you said, it's a good trip for bonding, and we spent a lot of time together. We had a couple activities planned, so it was a fun trip.
Tonight, the Blue Jackets will be without Zach Werenski, Patrik Laine, and Adam Boqvist. Werenski and Laine dealing with upper body injuries, while Boqvist is dealing with a lower body injury. So with that in mind, for more on tonight's game, here are Bob McElligott and Jean-Luc Grandpierre.
Well, the injury list is very long, and Jean-Luc, that's not a surprise. There are 5 games left, and everybody gets beaten up by this time of year. But look at some of the players that the Blue Jackets are missing. On the blue line, Zach Werenski, he got hurt during the road trip. Adam Boqvist gets hurt in practice yesterday. Patrik Laine didn't play the last 2 games of the road trip. So when I think of those players, I think power play especially. And Zach Werenski usually runs unit number 1, Adam Boqvist number 2. Who's going to run those tonight?
It has to be Jake Bean, in my opinion. Jake Bean, and maybe we'll see a little bit of Nick Blankenberg running the point as well. I'm sure he's done that in college as well. But yeah, it will be on Jake Bean's shoulder. Listen, we saw the Blue Jackets go with 5 forward at some point. I'm not a fan. As a former defenseman, I think it's just a turnover machine when you have 5 forwards. So Jake Bean will be there, and we've seen Jake Bean create some offense. He scored a couple of goals on that trip, so hopefully he feels good about himself and can get the power play going here for the Blue Jackets.
Let's talk about Nick Blankenberg, because here's a guy that less than 2 weeks ago was playing for Michigan in the NCAA, and now not only is in the NHL, but last time he was here in this building, he was making his NHL debut, and he was playing in a 5-6 role. Well, on that trip, he moved into the top 4 on the blue line. That says a lot about the way he's playing early on in this league.
Absolutely, and he's really opened my eyes because, your first NHL game, sometimes it can be just like a dream. And it happens, and then, game 2, how are you going to respond? And his first game is against Montreal. The very next game, you're playing against a playoff team. He performed well, and he goes on this whole road trip and has a really good performance and still in the top 4 right now for the Blue Jackets. Even without injury, I still think he deserves a spot in that top 4. That's how well he's played.
The Ottawa Senators here tonight, they are like the Blue Jackets where they're not going to the playoffs, but they're like them even more because they are a young team. They're in a rebuilding phase. They got rid of a lot of star players. They got a lot of draft picks. They have a lot of young guys now in their lineup, and they have more that are coming. So these teams are very, very similar. How do you think this one will get played out tonight?
It's going to be a tough game. Ottawa, we talked about it last time. I told you, I believe it was, my words were, they are the best worst team in the NHL because they beat a lot of teams that they shouldn't beat. And then sometimes you see them drop games where it doesn't make much sense, but they play hard, very talented offensively. And then as far as goaltending, they gave Forsberg that deal, so hopefully things work out with him. And then they play just like their coach, really hard in your face, and Brady Tkachuk is the one that leads the charge there.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be in the faces of the Blue Jackets all night long. That's the way we see it. For Jean-Luc Grandpierre, I'm Bob McElligott. Dylan, back to you.
Thanks again to Bob and Jean-Luc, as that will do it for tonight's edition of the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyre saying enjoy the game.